Mr. Oreskin, Deputy Head of the Presidential Administration, Professor Jeffrey Sachs, President of the United Nations Network for Solutions in the Field of Sustainable Development, Professor Rashid Yazami, President of KVI Holdings, ladies and gentlemen, greetings, and I hope that it is going to be a pleasant day for everyone. First and foremost, I would like to thank the National Center Russia for inviting me to share some thoughts with participants of the open dialogue which focuses on the title The Future of the World, New Platform for Global Growth. While it is a difficult subject to tackle, especially when the world is in a state of turmoil and uncertainties, both in matters of governance and economy, I will attempt to share some of my perceptions based on what I have witnessed in the past and the present. Indeed, I have spent very close to 100 years in this world, and I have observed happenings during those years, though I will not be presumptuous as to claim to have the wisdom of age. Wisdom does not necessarily come with age, and neither does age makes one wise. But what I can claim is that I lived through many of the period that quite a number of you may have only read about in journals and history books. So, what I will share is based on my observation and experience, and hopefully it helps both you and I in forming some ideas and opinions of what the future may hold. Ladies and gentlemen, first let me address the past and some parts of the present. In my lifetime, I have gone through several defining wars, saw technological breakthroughs and advancement beyond imagination, and how the more civilized humans became, the more destructive they have become towards life itself and the world in general. In other words, the more civilized and advanced the world proclaims or presents itself, the nastier and more inhuman they seem to be. If the war of the trenches of World War I claimed nearly 20 million lives, World War II saw the figure more than double. By any measure, the 3 decades that separated World War I and World War II witnessed the advancement of technology that contributed much to the well-being of mankind. But it is these technological advancements which created more efficient weapons and war machines which increased the killing capacity several-fold. And during that period too, the atom bomb was created and put to use. It was a scientific achievement of sorts, but the 2 bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki killed an estimated 200,000 people. Apart from that, for years on end, those who survived and the generation after them suffered extreme horrors from the side effects of radiation. Contemporary history have also shown how advanced technology in weaponry had been used to commit genocide and wipe out whole cities and its occupants. As I speak today, we bear witness to the genocide in Palestine carried out by a regime that is so cruel and ruthless that these modern weapons were put to the worst of its use. Such is the advancement of these arms that thousands can be wiped out within days. Clearly, human nature has not kept up with the advances in knowledge. It would seem that we are not any more civilized than our Stone Age ancestors. On the flip side of the coin, during the tail end of World War I, the world was hit by the Spanish flu pandemic, and the death toll over the 2 years was estimated to be between 20 to 50 million, though there were estimates that goes as high as 100 million. Our present generation went through our own pandemic, the COVID-19, and the death toll since it started in 2020 until now is estimated to be just over 7 million. While the comparison is not apple to apple, but we can take comfort that modern medicine had improved our chances of surviving greatly. And if we were to turn back the pages of history, we will read the horrors of pandemics suffered by the ancient world, such as the plague of Justinian and the Black Death, of which death tolls surpassed that of modern-day pandemics. They were indeed staggering. If we take into consideration the global population, then was only a fraction compared to the present-day population. The point is that while we lament the death caused by the use of technology and sciences in wars and conflicts, the scientific and technological advancement in the field of medicine had saved lives and will continue to do so. Ladies and gentlemen, while we discuss the contrasting effects of technological advancements, I am an optimist as I have witnessed over the years the wonders of what these new technologies had extended the survival of humanity. If the early stages of the 20th century saw the implosion of information technology, which in effect hastened the process of globalization, our present-day technological advancements are breaking down the borders further. Communication has rendered borders even more porous. This has expanded the world market so that trade now amounts to trillions of dollars. At the same time, the porous borders have led to mass migration. The more interesting development is that of artificial intelligence, or AI, which promises limitless knowledge in whatever fields that mankind had ever ventured and explored. Even before AI became trendy, we were already exposed to learn and understand things from the internet and on YouTube, for example. The young had used it to fix and attend to matters which in the past their parents would have needed to call experts to fix. Though I try to understand all the new technological discoveries, I must admit that I am finding it difficult to keep abreast, and that is not from the lack of trying. The discouraging part is that the pace of these new discoveries is so rapid that when you thought you have the hang of it, you are actually one or two updates behind. Ladies and gentlemen, from what I am witnessing today and what I've seen in the past, to my mind, these new technological discoveries will continue to improve the lives of mankind and making those who are able to grasp them prosperous. But our problem, as in the past, For the majority of mankind to prosper from these new discoveries, more people must be given access to them and to understand them as well. Education is especially of the essence, and if these new sciences and technologies can be made accessible to all school-going children, then they will become great tools for a more equitable and just society. And as it had always been said, the danger of new technologies is when they fall into the wrong hands. Otherwise, they become yet tools to further advance weapons of mass destruction which are already in abundance. Ladies and gentlemen, though I have great faith in mankind, I am also a warrior that the new and more technological advanced generation may not realize that these powerful tools of change will not be so great if they do not serve humanity. Only when mankind collectively benefits from them do these technologies have any real value, intrinsic or otherwise. If these are realized and observed, I believe we will see a better world in which technologies and intelligence laced with humanity become the basis for the new world growth, and at the same time the deterrent to wars and belligerence. I thank you.